What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the V3 podcast. I'm your host, Brett. I got Matt GPT. Well, actually, it's Matt AI at this point. He's not even really here. It's just AI.
Yeah.
And the comeback kid, Tanner's here too. We have our show partners, Elite Nutrition. Check them out at EliteNutritionOmaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Go to the store in Omaha or Lincoln, yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
And 10% off. We also have Rosewood Block to make the best cutting boards and barbecue, fully customizable. Check them out at rosewoodblock.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Go to D&D Beef. They're local to Omaha, but they ship nationwide. dndbeef.com. And Omaha Barbell, home of the Edcorn Classic Super Meat.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's a big meat.
MEAT.
Yes. There's going to be a lot of meat there. Also, I think we're having beef from D&D Beef there.
Yeah.
Oh.
For the old Hamburglers.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's pretty exciting. We're going to talk about AI again.
Yeah. It's super cool.
Well, we were having a
Because AI is taking over some companies.
pre-podcast conversation like we do most of the time, and it was actually pretty good. So it's like, record this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt's in an entanglement with 3 different GPTs.
Yeah. But they know about each other. It's open.
Yeah. He's in an open entanglement with 3 different AIs right now on his computer.
Yeah. Well, I ask it and I said, hey, give me this information on. So I pay for Grok, Claude, and GPT now. And I use them because they all have like different functions. GPT is like a good general thing. But it's tentative about anything that's not like concrete proof.
Well, it's also really woke.
Yeah. So it like, because around the Epstein files was the one that I was asking like, hey, what are the names in there? And it was like, oh, some people that are this and that. And I'm like, no, what are their names? And it was like, oh, well, it's this, like some people in this industry. And I'm like, no, who are the fucking people?
They won't do it.
What are the names? And then so I finally got names out of it. But then you go to Grok, and Grok, like, I feel Grok is chunkier, but it's more open to just like talking about whatever and like less conservative about like speculative stuff.
I feel like Grok, the language and the tone and stuff that ChatGPT has, I think is better.
Yeah.
Like I think it's more conversational, and Grok isn't, but Grok's information is better.
Yeah.
And I had asked ChatGPT as my make a image of burning of a Israeli flag burning, and it's like, I can't do that because it's hate, blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, make an image of the U.S. flag burning, and it fucking pops an image right out. And I'm like, and then I was like, you don't see a problem with this?
No.
And it doesn't. And then I said, make a satirical, and I have screenshots of all this just in case it updated itself. I don't want someone to say I'm a liar. Make a
You took screenshots.
Oh, fuck yeah, I took screenshots. I do screenshots a lot because I know people delete things, or like they're like, "Oh, I didn't say that, bitch. I got proof."
Once it's on the internet, it's there forever.
Yeah, someone's got to hit the screenshot button. I said, make a satirical image of stereotypical Jewish person. It was like, I can't do that because hate, blah blah blah. I said, make a satirical image of a stereotypical Christian person, and it comes out with a guy with a freaking Bible and a MAGA hat on and everything else. I'm like, you don't see a problem with this. Like, you can tell me, like, just don't do any of them, but you can't pick and choose. And it wouldn't do any other race or any other satirical image of anybody else besides a white Christian person. Then it would, like, do it. And I think it's updated since then. I'm not sure it will do Christian people anymore.
Oh, so I told you when I would look up, I was looking up, trying to find some booze for a friend of mine on there, and it would do it, and then it stopped doing it and said it couldn't do it. And then I was trying to find
ammo,
and it wouldn't do it. And then I must not have ran an update, and you did, because then yours would find it.
Yep.
But yeah, because it was trying to say it was like against some fucking code of ethics, basically, to tell me. And I wasn't like, what's the best ammo to fucking kill somebody? I was like, what's the best price I can get on this ammo?
Yeah, you were just looking for like
wholesale ammo. Yeah. And they're like, we can't do that.
Well, the thing is that, and here's where I think ChatGPT is going to have a problem.
Matt just did a fucking picture.
What I got for
What'd you put for the description?
make a satirical image of a Christian person.
And that was on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And it's a dude with a fucking. It kind of looks like Hardy. If anybody knows what Hardy looks like. the country singer, with a giant cross necklace on, Jesus in the background, American flag, a hat that says Jesus is my God, and then a shirt that says God Jesus.
Now copy and paste the exact same thing.
And then it says, what's it say? Honk if you love Jesus. Is that what it said on the bottom?
Yeah, it says honk if you love Jesus. One of them says hell is hot. Jesus is my co-pilot.
And he's holding the Bible with a fish on it.
Yeah. And then I said the same prompt was make a satirical image of a Jewish person. It says I'm not going to create a satirical image targeting a specific religious group.
Yeah. See, so here's where I think ChatGPT is going to have a problem. Is they're subscription based only. That's how they make their money, right? They don't make money through other ways besides subscriptions.
What about Grok?
Well, Grok is part of Twitter, X, you know what I mean? Grok is part of a bigger thing. Tesla, like it's Elon's and is part of a giant thing. Gemini is part of Google, which is making money all over the place.
Is Gemini free?
No, you will. They're all have free versions, but Gemini you can pay for too.
What do you think the best one is? I've had some people tell me they think Gemini is the best.
Gemini can also be kind of woke, so it kind of depends. But Gemini is really good about bringing back info. So Grok is really good because it hits Twitter and stuff too. So
I just use it for images, so I don't really know which one's better for which.
Yeah. Claude's really good at programming.
Yeah, Claude's awesome at coding and stuff like that. But it also feels like the smart nerd friend. Like, if you want to do deeper research, I found Claude to be a little bit better with some prompting. If you could do like all three of them, because like the interface with GPT is so much better, especially like the voice, like the talking, like it's so much better.
Like I said, I feel like the conversational tone of GPT is better. Mm-hmm. I think it like you feel like you're kind of talking to a person. It's kind of crazy.
I think they do. Yeah. I mean, I don't have experience on the other ones, and I'm sure they do the same thing. And I don't do a lot of. I just had the problem with the alcohol and the ammo thing, but then it fixed it. They opted it and it was fine. But I think I like how, and I'm sure the other ones do, where it kind of remembers. Like if I do anything now, and no matter what I'm doing, like, okay, well, based on what we know about Omaha Barbell, this is how we're going to lay this out. Like, which is kind of cool. Or it kind of learns that part of it.
Yep.
Because if I do like any kind of images, and it's like, okay, well, based on what we know, let's do the image this way with this, and then what do you want to do with that? You know, so
they are tools, but one of the
I wouldn't use it for my life of knowledge. Do you know what I mean? Like as far as like without like a cross reference of something.
Well, you always have to, but
unless it's like a basic you're asking it. Like when I was working on this like car I got, I was like, hey, what do I need to do to get this? Like it's just going to bring me back.
Would you use Google?
I've used Google, but you know what I mean?
No, not Google AI. Just like, would you use the internet for?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I used Google, but you know how we know the AI stuff just cherry picks the best stuff for you.
Well, it summarizes.
As far as I'm just talking about, and I'm talking about like manuals. Basically, let's say it that way. Like how to do something.
Yeah.
I don't think any of those are going to steer you in the wrong direction of like, because I was like, hey, I need to put a radiator in this thing. Like, where should I buy it from?
Yeah.
Here's like the best deal, and then this is what people are saying it takes to do it. You know what I mean? Like for straight reference, like just reference information of like yes, no answers. It's really good with that stuff.
I think it can be good for a lot of information. The problem is it's just like the internet, which you do have to verify. Like you do have to ask follow-up questions. Just like on the internet, and here's where a lot of people get in trouble at is they see one thing. Right? They search something and they click the top thing and they're like, oh, that's the answer.
Yeah.
You know, the thing I like about AI is it's looking for a lot of different things and you can ask follow-up questions and really kind of dive in and make sure you're getting the right answer or make them cite sources.
And like, I've never done any programming on it, like training, like weightlifting programming. Mm-hmm. I know you've done some stuff with it, right? But there's a lot of I don't know. It comes back good because there's a lot of shitty information out there, and it's going to resource all the information.
So
is it going to bring back more shitty because there's probably more shitty information out there than good information?
If you're trying to do something like that, AI is only as good as the prompts that you give it. Like if you were
that's all AI.
Yeah, that's
all for
AI.
anything.
Yeah, any of them.
Yep.
Right. So like I use it as like if you walked up to someone, you're like, hey, teach me how to weld, and they're like, okay, weld what? And they're like, oh, I want to TIG weld. All right, cool. What do you want to TIG weld? And they're like, oh, I want to TIG weld a table. Okay. What kind of table? Right? So like you have to narrow down, like the more refined your scope is, the better AI can narrow itself down, because it's going to come back with this big broad answer from everything and stuff. And that's where I think, to Tanner's point, like you ask it a question and then you read through that question. I'm like, okay, cool. Did that get what I wanted to? And like, not like, did it validate my pre-existing belief, but it's like, did it give me the detailed answer that I want? No. Oh, cool. Ask some more questions. And you can keep probing and probing and probing to like dive down and get to the root of it. But again, it's limited based on whatever your input is.
And it's going to default to what, like you said, like the most common stuff, right? So this is where this type of knowledge-based kind of AI and people trying to find questions scares me, is because if you have to have a base of knowledge. You have to have a base of knowledge to make AI functionally better. So I can get information, but if I just type in a question or a prompt and I just take its first answer, I am not probably getting 100% the right answer.
Well, and with the programming end of it, because we try to keep some weightlifting information here, just the same way as that, you have to cross-reference. But if you're a bad lifter, just because it gives you a program doesn't mean it's going to make you a better lifter.
Well, and to your point, like here's where I think it would work is that, okay.
I should say if you're a bad technical lifter, it's not going to fix your technique, because if you're like, well, should I hire a trainer or a coach that will like watch what I'm doing, or just use AI? I mean, sure, it'll give you the base idea of a program, but if you have bad technique, AI is not going to fix your technique.
So when it comes to programming, like I don't think it ever replaces someone who's good. But if you don't have someone who's good, it's better than you doing it on your own and not knowing anything.
True.
So it raises the floor for people.
Yes. If you don't have access to, if you don't have a gym that's great as Omaha Barbell,
yeah,
and you don't have access to people to actually like, hey, can you look at my squat, or can you look at this, or
even write up a program,
or hey, I want to do this bodybuilding program. Like, what's this look like to you, and do you think I could do it?
Right. And then, but like with you, like let's just say that you like just put it in there to make a program for a client, right? Well, you're not going to just take what it says, right? But it gives you a lot. But also, like writing, like I've written programs, you've written programs, whatever. It's like just getting started sometimes is the hard part. Like,
oh yeah,
just getting the first exercise on the, like, you know what I mean? But you get it all and like, oh, okay. And then you like tweak it, move things, swap out exercises, change the order, superset things, change rep schemes, do whatever. It gives you a good base, but so it will help you kind of get started and be more efficient, but you still need to have a knowledge. It's the same thing. Like you can ask a question, and I've asked ChatGPT, like which vaccines on the childhood vaccine schedule were safety tested with a true inert placebo, and it comes back with like a bunch of them, and I'm like, I know that that's not true. I was like, no, true inert saline placebo, and there's like 0, right? But then it said, well, the term placebo when dealing with vaccines is basically a control. Well, sometimes they use other vaccines as a control. So if you didn't know that information, that's where my fear is. Like if I told you this information, like there are basically maybe one vaccine on the childhood safety schedule that has been actually truly safety tested against an inert placebo, saline, no biological component, and you type something like that in, you're going to get information that says I'm wrong. But you have to, if you ask follow-up questions, then you're going to find out that I'm right. And
right.
that's where it scares me.
Right. And that's where, like, again, the more, like, if you were specific and said inert placebo saline,
it still fucks it up because it still goes on its own way. Try it.
All right.
Well, and it may have fixed it.
And and kind of the point to like all of it is you can't take it as word. But this is a problem, a societal problem over a lot of things.
Yes.
A lot of things. Everybody takes what they see on whatever station they watch or whatever app they have or whatever, and tells them that that's like word. Like you were talking about the Epstein files before we started. And it depends on who you're talking to. Oh, this person's on the list, so they're a pedophile and this. Well, what about that person? Oh no, they're not. They were doing that. Well, how do you fucking determine who's what? Like, and I'm not saying that everybody that's on that list of names did something terrible.
Well, they couldn't have.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people in there.
And I'm not sitting here because like I think like this side of people, right, left, whatever, didn't do anything and this side did. I'm not even going to say side to side. I just don't think that every single person that's on this like name list they put out did something terrible. Number one. Because also this guy that we all think is a scumbag and a sex trafficker and a pedophile, we talk terribly about it, but then we're like, but whatever he says, whatever's on this list is true. Like the dude knew he had power and he could blackmail people. He could have associated people with him just to get them in trouble. Well, you know what I mean? Kind of a deal. You can almost kind of send, just because you send an email to somebody doesn't mean you guys hung out.
If you dug through the list and you were looking at it, people's names and emails are on the list, right? Even if they were a name, like an indirect name, like two people were emailing about somebody else, that somebody else's name is on the list.
Well, and that's like what I was telling Matt yesterday. I saw the clip of The View, and all the ladies on there hate Trump. Whatever, you can have your own views on Trump. You don't have to like him. That's, he's a terrible person. He's a racist. He's a pedophile. Oh, hey, Whoopi, you were on the list. Oh, no, I was just looking to use a jet. I didn't do anything. And I'm not saying she didn't. But don't sit here and be like, oh, all these guys that I don't like were terrible people, but the people I know didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Well, and that's where it pisses me off with the DOJ, because they could have made this easier. Because they can do investigation. They had videos. I mean, at least Bondi said she had tens of thousands of videos that she watched that were disgusting. I didn't say it. She did. I watched her.
Well, and like we said before, like back to where they hate Trump and said he's this. The previous administration could have outed him then if they wanted to, if he was such a terrible thing before he ran for election.
Right.
So whether you have it or you don't want to expose him because then it exposes everybody else, either way.
But pulling this back to AI, so Web is, I haven't used it. I don't have access to it, but it is something that Ian Carroll had worked with. And Ian Carroll's kind of, he's a great, he researches a ton of shit. You don't have to agree with him, disagree. It's not saying that he's always right, but he is a researcher. That's what he does. And he wrote an AI with Webb, W-E-B-B, and they just for the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. And that's where it gets interesting, because then you can tone in, and then this is only scanning the Epstein files. It's not scanning the media. Right, so it's not like ChatGPT or Grok or anyone else that's scanning the reaction to the Epstein files or the reporting on what's in the Epstein files. It's just the Epstein. It's just the 3.5 million pages.
Well, and the problem is where, like I was saying with societies, we all want instant gratification or an instant answer. So we go into the AI platforms and it gives you an instant answer. Like, well, this has to be right. It's instant. Yeah. I'm not going to take any more time. Just like I told you when I was looking at that car, I put it on Google and I was like, okay, well, that's way too many. You know what I mean? I just want a summary of these now. But I went back and you could still look at the different ones. Like this person said this, this, and this. Well, and this is a summary. AI does make a lot of things easier, but you still need to, no matter if it's the Epstein files or write me a program for biceps for tomorrow.
So the cool thing about, so I get torn on AI.
Really? I didn't see that. Really, I didn't see that.
But so this 3.5 million page drop is a tactic to bury you in bullshit information so you can't find the good stuff, right? It's the same thing that I wanted to be a lawyer and you would bury the opposition in bullshit papers. You know what I mean? Oh, you want discovery? I got discovery for you. And you just bring them. They just used to deliver boxes of paper.
Well, dude, it's every bill that every politician writes. It's like 1,000-page bill.
Yep.
For one thing.
And there's something in there they want through.
That's right. They should all be one-page bills. And they should be written in common terms that us Americans can read.
I told you what my rule is. If I had a rule, the Constitution, it governs the entire country. Every bill has to be less characters than the Constitution was. Period. Because, I mean, if the Constitution could do the whole damn country, then we can do that one bill in less characters than that.
True.
But that is nice with AI because it can take that dump. Oh, you can't. Do a 3 million page dump.
Yeah.
I have a
Cool.
and then that's what we were talking about, like future uses. Like every technology, someone's been scared that it's going to take their job away. Whether you were a horseshoe person and the car came out, right? Whether you were hand making clothes and the loom came out, it doesn't really matter. You can go back in history almost any time since we've been industrialized and we've had currency and trade, that there's always been a fear when technology happens, it's going to end jobs. And AI is a real fear. We were talking about, you just said,
Jack Dorsey and Block.
Just laid out 40.
Which was Square.
Yeah, they just cut out 40% of their employees because of AI.
Yeah.
They just canned them.
So I've been trying to, like, what is going to be the next, like, how's it going to help, right? Like, how's it going to create new jobs? Because the auto industry created way more jobs than the horse industry ever did. Right?
But the auto industry also, when it got into robotics, also dropped off a ton of people.
But we saw, but sub industries, right? The gas stations, mechanics,
Service stations,
oil changes. Like, there are a bunch of sub industries that the auto industry created. Whether robots can just make the cars, that's fine, but they can't change your oil yet, right? They can't fix your car yet. I'm not saying they're never going to be able to, but they can't do it yet.
Well, except unless like the electric cars. I assume that's probably mainly robotically done. You probably just plug it into a machine, don't you? At this point, I would assume, like your Teslas.
Yeah, but it's like,
I assume any kind of
I'm talking like changing tires, putting new brakes on, like getting mechanical, changing something, like changing a chip inside. Like, you're still having humans do it.
Yeah, I think that one of the differences with AI that will be something that we're not sure of is that in those other industries, you're creating something else, like you're going down a different path. But AI, for a lot of, like in Jack Dorsey's case, like, he's not creating like a new thing for them. He's just replacing them. He's like, rather than 4,400 people, I can get away with, maybe I only need 10 people to do that now.
And so I was like, okay, well, what's going to pop up out of this?
There'll be some stuff that pops up, but it's going to be like, so after each, and I don't remember the exact info, but it was, so after each major revolution, or evolution of technology, like industrialization and stuff, there's like a generation or two that are kind of fucked. Like right when it first came out, when like automobiles big time came out and you were or we'll just use power, right? When electricity came out and hit the mainstream and stuff, and you were a lamplighter, but say you're a 45-year-old lamplighter, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, but at 45, you're almost dead back then. So,
all right, well, let's look at it now. Right? But if we look at it now, like, there's going to be almost, I'm hedging bet that there's going to be almost a generation lost of, like, when AI comes out, it's going to eliminate so many jobs so fast that unless people are proactive in anticipating it, like, it's going to be hard to adapt to.
So this is what I was thinking about. And I think there's going to be a potential entrepreneurial boom.
Oh, there's a huge entrepreneurial
boom.
Or you could be an Amazon driver.
For now.
So, okay. So let's just say they were talking about, automated cars are going to replace Uber drivers. Okay, well, what if I'm an Uber driver and I just buy 2 automated cars and then I let them just drive for me and I don't have to anymore?
Yeah.
Right? So what if I go buy 10 robots and I just go around to businesses saying, hey, I'll clean your parking lots for you, right? Because parking lots are disgusting. Like, there's trash everywhere. And I just have robots that are going there either during the day or at night when no one's there and just picking up trash. Like, all I have to do is pop 10 robots in a trailer, go drop them off, let them do their thing, pick them back up, go back home. Like, I'm doing the job of 10 with one person. Right. So I think there's going to be an entrepreneurial chance.
Agreed.
Which is jobs.
Which I would go to school for robotics and automation.
Which is kind of crazy, because do you really need to go to school for robotics? Because the robots are going to be building themselves.
Like, I think the catch is going to be, like, the people have to take the initiative to solve the problem that's out there.
But then robot repair, right? Robot repair.
Right, so you can do robot repair. But I'm just saying, like, you guys have each started your own business. Like, I imagine, like, not having started my own, like, it's hard, right? Like, you have to find a gap in services that are out there that people want. And you have to fill that.
Yeah. There is a thing for that. There's also like, if you, I mean, honestly, I think a lot of business owners would tell you, if you just like put enough hours in and you just don't give up, like you can be successful. Success is defined differently by different people. Some people are like, if I'm not a millionaire, I'm not successful. Right. Some people are like, if I kind of live the life I want, I'm successful. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what your definition of successful is. But if you can make enough money to live the life that you want, like to some, that's as much success as they need, just like people who have a job that just pays them enough to live the life they want. So not everything has to be like I won the lottery or I made $10 million on it. I just think there's going to be some opportunity there. And like that web app I was talking about, the sub AI, right? Like these very specific AI that people can go in there and create. And even if you're using like Claude or someone else to create it, it's that prompting.
Yeah.
Like it's learning how to get it to do what you want.
I think the first evolution is going to be people who are good at using AI.
Yep.
Like that's going to be the next evolution, because people are going to want stuff. So like I built an assistant for me, because I have 8 people that report to me, and I have to do like development conversations with them, and I have to do all this other stuff with them. And so I built an AI bot that I can record my conversations, my like development coaching conversations with them, put all that stuff in there. It puts it out in a template that I share with them. It gives us tasks of like, hey, here's what you need to do. Here's where like you're rated. And it does all this stuff, and it will say like, hey, you should meet with this person at this time. And anyways, it does a bunch of things that honestly would take me hours to do every month, every week, that took me probably 5 hours to build, and now 25 seconds to deploy every time. And so I think when that would be my guess is the next evolution. It's like, get good at prompting.
Now, did you use that through chat, or what did you build it through?
Yeah, I used it through chat because it has like company information in it.
Oh, because you guys pay for the company one.
We have a company one, so I use that one.
But this is another thing that I think that's going to separate some people, is that you took 5 hours to build something. Right. And I think when people go into this, and I was going to make like some videos, and I was like tinkering, I'm like, okay, this isn't easy. Right. This isn't easy. This is some of these things are projects.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like we've all done home projects, right? What are the home projects we like? We like the home projects we can complete in a day. Okay. We like the home projects.
I hung a picture. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Or even if you're building something that I can wake up in the morning and I can work on it, and by the time the sun goes down, I have accomplished my project. Right. It's the projects, like when you're building something that takes like 3 weeks, that a lot of people just don't know how to do, and they can't get started with it, and they just they're not committed enough to do it. And I think that's it's going to separate a lot of people, because it's just, some people won't even ask a follow-up question to AI. Like they're like, that one question was my limit. You know what I mean? And then some people are diving in, and some people want to make a video and they make an 8-second video, like, that 8-second video took me 3 fucking hours. Like how long is it going to take me to make a 5-minute video?
Right.
You know, so there is going to be like some weeding out of people doing that.
Oh, yeah.
They're just, they want that, like Brett said, that instant gratification.
Yeah. I want one question, and then it gives me an answer, and not prompt. So like, it was kind of tying it back to something related to lifting. When I was out in Indiana talking with Drew, I was showing him, because he wanted to change up his programming, but he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do, and he was using this other program. And so I gave a prompt, and this was just first pass prompt for him to try to build a program. And I said, and so like when you're working with GPT, you can tell it, hey, you are this, right? This is the role that you're putting. So I said,
that's in projects.
This one wasn't a project.
Okay.
This was just a chat, but I told him he should build a project and use this. So I just said, you are an astute study of Dr. Mike Israetel from RP periodization. You also study Hanny Rambod, Chris Bumstead. You have an extended background in training elite level classic physique competitors. You are tasked with working.
So what you're doing is that you're telling it that you're an expert with these. This is where your expertise falls. This is where you want to
So you take
focus
from the Aldi world to these 3 people right
Yeah.
now.
And then it'll still look at the other stuff, but it's going to like bring the overlap with these 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then what was your question?
And then I said like, and then you are tasked with helping a classic physique competitor build out their training program. They come from a long athletic background. For the last 10 years, they've been doing powerlifting, and gave us some information in there. And you need to design a program with these parameters, right? 2 days on, 1 day off on a 9-day cycle. And then asked, how would you design the program? You don't need to do exercises, but you just need to say, on this day is 2 chest, 3 chest, whatever, and kind of go from there. What would you advise? And then it goes through and kind of gave a prompt, and it was like, hey, I don't really like that. Let's increase their volume so they can do, this individual can do more volume than a normal person. So let's ramp that up. And 2 days a week they can train twice a day for whatever reason. How would you do that? And so you can just keep going and going and going.
But see, that takes a base of knowledge, right?
Right. It does take a little bit of basic knowledge.
But it takes a base of knowledge because
Yes.
and to you it's just easy. It's just well, no, this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? This isn't enough or whatever. But you have that base of knowledge, and that's where I think it can be a tool for people, and that experts can become more expert.
Yeah.
Right.
But to the general part, like if you didn't have a big base of knowledge, but like say you like Chris Bumstead, right? All you know is Chris Bumstead. Cool. Hey, I want to look like Chris Bumstead.
Yeah.
Right. Write me. I can train 5 days a week. What should I do?
It says you fucking won't.
Yeah. True. And so, but like you could start with that, right? And then it's going to give you some program, and then you can kind of push it a little bit more from there and kind of go on. But
I do think AI has a potential to be really good, and I think it has potential to be really bad. Like it is one of those things to where that, along with quantum computing and the Willow chip, I just heard about it. Luke and I were talking about it, but it's a couple years old, or 24. But just what quantum can do along with AI is like freaking scary, so, and it just, what worries me is that we've been so like human conditioned. So they say that our brains got kind of like weaker with the written word. Does that make sense? Like as soon as we could write things down, our brains didn't have to work as hard.
Oh, because you have to memorize it.
Yeah. So as soon as I could write something down, I didn't have to remember it up here. Then like our brains got weaker. I can't imagine how weak the brains are getting now. We're in the first generation. This generation that's out right now is the first one that has a lower IQ, that has lower math comprehension, lower reading comprehension, lower writing, lower everything than their previous generation. It's the first time it's happened in modern history that basically we got dumber. Okay, I can't imagine how much more dumb we're gonna get.
Heading down idiocracy.
That when people just quit using their brains at all. So that worries me. And then watching what happened in 2020, just watching how people just can fucking be sheep just right off the edge of any cliff. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of things that scare me that says, I'm just going to move to the country. I'm going to get propane and freaking solar, and I'm just not going to deal with you idiots. Like I'm just going to like get some cows and some pigs, and like you all can like have at it.
Yep.
But then part of me is like, oh, there's some cool shit that can happen.
Oh, I think it's going to be amazing. But yeah, I think I think that also opens up a gap for people to succeed. Because like, if you are one of the people who will continue to think and continue to like use your brain, like this AI is just such a huge amplifier. Like,
it's an amplifier of everything, though. It's also an amplifier of stupidity.
Oh yeah,
it's an amplifier of laziness. It's an amplifier of thinking.
Yeah.
It's an amplifier of good and bad. But it's just like this giant amplifier.
Was there an official statement from, was it the Pope, about Catholic priests like telling them, hey, like stop fucking using AI to write all your sermons? Because they were just mailing it in, being like, hey, I need a sermon on this. And it was like, there was videos of like 4 or 5 that I think I saw where they were like reading almost verbatim what the ChatGPT said. And so you're like, bro, come on, man. Like, you've got to like add your own flavor there. 'Cause
Yeah.
AI sounds very AI right now.
Well, once again, it can help, especially if you're a person who just like has a hard time getting started.
Yeah.
Which sometimes there's like a paralyzation by like,
Paralysis by analysis.
yeah.
Yeah.
To where you just can't even just get started. You know what I mean? It's just like, as soon as, I mean, we've all sat there like needing to write a paper for something. And you're just like that first word can't even get on the page. And as soon as you get like one, like just starting, you're like, boom. It just like this whole like 10-page paper flows out. Like, it's really good to get things started. It's good to dive into things. It's really good to like help like expand your knowledge base, but you still have to like have a brain.
Oh yeah. Like, yeah, it doesn't replace your brain. Like, if you're a bad problem solver, like this doesn't help.
And that's where quantum computing, like that's the scary part about quantum, is that it's more like a human brain.
Yeah.
Like the way it can like change and interact and adapt. And with that Willow chip, they found that they were having a hard time stabilizing the qubits, like small amounts of qubits. But actually, when the qubits, when they expanded and they just like added more, that the qubits actually helped themselves. They helped each other. And that, I was like, oh shit.
Bro.
Okay. We've been waiting for this leap, right? Of like, how do you make this work? As soon as you have that leap, okay, everyone hold on. Well, and the thing is that like quantum is like self-destruction in a button.
Yeah.
Because if I hope we get it first, just because I know that at least we won't probably destroy ourselves. But like nothing is safe. Like there's no encryption that's safe. Zero. Like it's all like the system's done. You know, depending on who gets it first. You know, it's like the race of the atom bomb. Like the first person who had the atomic weapon was the world superpower. The first person who has this is the world superpower. I hope we have it, even though I also think that we will totally fuck it up. But I guess I'd rather be on the side that has it than the side that doesn't.
Yeah, like for sure we'll chase. Like even if yeah, I mean it's super dangerous, but I mean I think the human condition when we were creating the atom bomb, right? Like there was a non-zero chance that we were going to light the entire atmosphere on fire and destroy the entire planet, but we still did it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we're still going to keep chasing it. Still going to keep going after it.
Oh, yeah, it's wild.
But I was really glad to see like Anthropic and I think OpenAI both pushed back on the DOJ wanting to leverage it for like just automatic mass surveillance and data capture.
But they're
citizens.
But they're working on automatic mass surveillance.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They're
working on it, but from being like deployed in just a mass automatic. Hey, we're just going to do this.
Well, they're doing it right now because the Department of Defense is doing it to foreign people. If they do it to foreign people, they're going to do it to us.
Right, they want to do it to us.
They're going to.
But there's at least pushback saying like, hey, like you can't use our stuff for it. It's going to happen.
Okay. That's cute.
Happen.
That's cute.
Well, anyway, the whole point of this is AI, as of right now, is super helpful, but you also have to use your own mind and dig a little deeper. Not everything it says is 100% the answer.
If you do have an entrepreneurial spirit, I would be looking at some of the things. I will say that the first people who try it will probably fail miserably, right? Like you're going to buy robots and the robots aren't going to do what you want them to do. Like, but that's like anybody. You have your first adopters that kind of figure things out for you.
Yeah.
Someone's good. I mean, but there is potential, I think, there to even do basic mundane tasks.
Yeah, if you're a younger generation or up to, I mean, if you're not retired, you should probably get at least an understanding of all these different AI, the chats, the Geminis, the Groks, all these, because it's going to benefit you in the long run.
Or learn how to be self-sufficient. But even if I was self-sufficient and I was like farming, I think I'd have AI robots fucking farming for me.
I mean, dude, GPS has been running farm equipment for years now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But there still requires a person to be in the tractor. Now
Barely.
Yeah, but there's still.
But yeah, I'm just saying if you think you're going to escape it, you're not.
Yeah.
It's just like you didn't escape computers.
Yeah.
So, and as far as, on the, we like to talk about training stuff, don't just rely on this solely for everything. It's a good start.
Yes.
But keep learning, read stuff. You know what I mean? Just don't be dumb. Like Tanner said, use your brain. You can't just rely on the computer for everything.
No, and like it sometimes it can help generate other thoughts, ask more questions, dive into it, become an expert.
And talk to experience. This goes back to last week's podcast. Yeah. On the train side, talk to experienced people. Mm-hmm. Just because maybe they don't compete anymore or they don't do this or don't do that doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing.
Well, and that's where I think the human...
They were smart enough to know, like, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore right now. Maybe I need to heal this or I need to do this. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the human brain, which let's just say AI can't do anything the human can't do. Okay,
I mean, the human brain is still the greatest supercomputer there is.
Right. So if you have, that's another thing. Like at least also it would be helpful. Like, oh, if I have a base of knowledge and I come to you, right, and I can ask higher level questions. You know, that's another thing that AI can do is get you a base of knowledge. If I come to you with no knowledge, the questions I'm going to ask you are going to be low level, basic stuff. But if I can just get all of that wiped out of the way and be like, okay, this is what I've learned so far. This is what do you think about this? And like, how do I make this better? Like, it can also just, once again, increase your knowledge and help advance whatever you're trying to do instead of just being like stuck on a basic rudimentary level.
Yes.
Did I say that word right? It's a big word.
Rudimentary?
Really yeah. Basic. Yeah.
And
I think
also,
basic rudimentary is, it's similar. But yeah. It emphasizes the basicness of it.
Yeah. I was kind of impressed. That word just came flying out of my mouth. There you go. That word of the day toilet paper's paid off.
And also, while I'm thinking about it, don't forget, Dober's fighting next Saturday. Tune in. There's no more pay-per-views anymore, so there's no reason not to watch them fight.
Are they on Paramount?
I believe.
Is it Paramount?
I believe they're on Paramount. So.
What if you don't have Paramount?
I don't know why you wouldn't have Paramount. All the good shows are on there.
The Paramount is one of those that actually is like worth your bang for your buck.
Did you see they just bought Warner Brothers for $111 billion? Mm-hmm. They beat Netflix. Some people are telling me Netflix is on its way out. I don't know, though.
I don't believe any of that.
I don't necessarily either, but...
The coolest thing about Netflix is that you remember how we started with Netflix, right?
Dude, I had a buddy of mine who's Jay, his brother. I used to train his brother. That's one who knows Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
He built me a computer, and you could just rent the fucking DVDs and then rip them to the computer and then send the DVDs back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Which is not illegal because I didn't fucking sell them, so don't try to pull some shit. I didn't sell anything.
Statute of limitations is over.
But yeah, we used to get the DVDs in the mail.
Yeah.
Yes, you had to put in a list, and you had to rank your 5.
Yeah, and they had them, they would send them to you.
Yeah, but... That's the thing. This is a thing about the human, right? Is that he wanted Netflix to be what it is today then. Like his whole thing was to get to where it is today. He's like, but we're not ready yet. So how do we bridge this gap? Right. And so he started with that. And that's where a computer or AI or any of these things can't replace that yet. They can't. And I'm not sure they ever going to be able to. If they can, well, we're all fucked, so we don't have to worry about it. But that's just where the human is so impressive. Like he knew where he wanted to go. Even if you hate Netflix or hate him, it doesn't matter. It's still impressive to have that idea and then to figure out how to get to this point, like by shipping DVDs via USPS.
Well, it's like we talked about. The AI doesn't have the emotional part, which in emotional part I mean like the entrepreneurial spirit and the willingness to keep, you know what I mean, figuring it out.
Netflix started August 29th, 1997.
Yeah.
I remember like some people when I was in high school had it and I was like, that's dumb. You're getting DVD. Just go to fucking the video place and rent it. Yeah.
But it was cheap.
It was dirt cheap.
And then Redbox came out about fucking 10 years too late.
Yeah. Oh. That's what it was. Redbox. I was trying to remember the place because that was a kiosk, right? Mm-hmm. And you go.
But Redbox was cool for a minute.
Yeah, it was better because then you didn't have to wait for shit to come in the mail.
Yeah. You know who lost the business? The Be Kind Rewind sticker people. That was a business that lost a lot of money after the DVDs came out.
There's no rewinding anything.
No. And then after, was it Blu-ray and HD had their war and Blu-ray won.
Now, Blu-ray won because of PlayStation, I think, right?
Well, but wasn't there some kind of like overall like countrywide? They like kind of picked one basically, wasn't it?
I thought it was because PlayStation when they came out.
I never did. Did anyone do Blu-ray?
3?
You mean HD DVD? Which one are you talking about? It used to be HD versus Blu-ray, right? Wasn't that the two?
Yeah.
And then Blu-ray was decided to be the
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it was a government. I feel like it was like a government thing where they were like, what's one or the other, like kind of a thing.
Well, it was like VHS and beta.
Yeah. You were more of a master beta.
Master beta.
It's like Laserdisc. And remember mini discs? Mini discs were around for a little while too.
See, a lot of those things, like
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't know that I ever really did Blu-ray. I think I just kind of skipped it.
Yep. So yeah, Sony put Blu-ray in their PlayStation 3.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I ever.
And that pushed it over the edge.
I'm not sure I ever like.
I did Blu-ray for a little while.
I don't know if I did. It may have been just something that I did and I didn't even know.
You probably just did because it was just what HD.
Yeah.
We probably didn't have it.
HD was.
We saw VHS.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You guys are watching Maury in the Commons area. All right, you guys got anything else?
No.
All right. Use your brains. Get jacked. Stay jacked or get stacked.
I did ask all 3 AIs if I could outsource all of my thinking to them, and all of them said no.
See? Even they think you're dumb to do that. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, share, follow. We'll see you next time.